Hi there again. It took me longer than 15 minutes to record my response, so I just fired up a new recording, and I'm going to finish uh, going through the chat questions so that I can respond to all the questions that were posted in the chat during my presentation. So let's go back to the chat, and where we had ended was about sharing information for free. So yeah, I just want to reiterate that it's really part of my DNA to make sure to share everything that I create and everything that I do as freely and openly as possible, so that others who haven't been doing this as long as I have don't have to recreate the wheel, and can benefit from those of us who have gone before. And I think the same is true for those of us, for all of us in education. We're able to publish our materials and our thoughts and our approaches, and share those with anyone that might be interested. So I would encourage you to think about that and to do that. Wherever that might make sense for you to do, and whenever it is that might be possible for you to do. So we were talking about inviting the outside world into my class, and I shared an example of how I did that, and Homa asked about monitoring the appropriateness of interaction. And so, of course, it's not live, so it's not like I can't monitor or control. I created a video that I uploaded into YouTube, and then I invited the world to create videos in response to my video. And then I was able to preview those video responses that came in, I created a playlist of all of the people who responded to that, and who then came in to talk to my students. So the playlist that I created, I had already sort of previewed, and before I inserted it into the class. And I have never had a situation where in a video or in anything where I've invited the world to respond, I've never had a situation where something was inappropriate, except once in a Zoom. I do these webinars, these lunch and learn webinars, and I used to publicly send out the Zoom link and invite the world to come and attend, and of course many people did. And then when the pandemic hit, I don't know if you recall hearing about Zoom bombing. Well, it happened to me, where someone got a hold of the link and came in and caused some trouble. And I was, at the beginning, we were not completely clear on how to prevent anything like that from happening, and so our settings weren't set appropriately. And so, we learned from that experience. I, immediately shut the Zoom down, when I realized that things were a little out of control. So I shut it down, and then we investigated the appropriate settings, and then we set up the appropriate settings, and I've never had another situation happen like that. That happened because it was live. In the example that I shared in my presentation, this was not a live invitation. This was sorry, this was an invitation for people to create videos that then I was able to preview and put together into a playlist that I then was able to embed into my course. All right, so Stephen had the question about how long it takes to make the 2-minute Powtoon. So this is my Powtoon account, and I used a template. Powtoon provides you with the opportunity to use all kinds of templates, and so you can take one that kind of has a structure or a look and feel to it that is similar to something that you are trying to do, and then you can just open it up and customize it. And that's what I did for my I did it for both of the videos that I've created with this tool. This one is on the research process, and then this one was describing qualitative research. And so for the 7 steps, this is about a 2-minute video, and Stephen was curious how long it took maybe to create this video. You know, as Vanessa mentioned, she's used it too. You know, the templates do make it super easy to use and customize, and you get very professional looking results, especially if you can find a template that is fairly close to what it is that you're trying to do and create. I will tell you that I spent probably 24 hours straight on creating this explanation to the research process. And those were 24 hours of 24 flow hours. I did not experience the passage of time because I was having so much fun doing it. Of course, you know, I love doing this kind of stuff. So like I barely ate, went to the bathroom, I barely did anything. I just sat there creating this video and loved every minute of it. This is the first video that I created with this tool, and so I had all of the fun of you know, experimenting and learning how to use this new tool as I was using it. And so I spent way more time on it than I think you know, the average bear would, but I really enjoyed it and ended up sinking quite a bit of time into playing around and learning the tool. As you can see, the version that I have of this is the free version. I always try to use the free version of these tools. It's just, you know, to explore the instructional potential of them, or just to explore how the tool works. And for the most part, many of the tools that all of the tools that I showed you have free versions, and I primarily use the free versions of them. Okay. Oh, someone was, Prajit was talking about comments from students as messages for future students. I'm glad you like that idea. Prajit, I actually want to show you, this is my Moodle course again. And I put this in at the end of my course, as I mentioned during my presentation, but I wanted to show it to you in the course. So this is the Padlet that is embedded into the course, and you can see I have some videos here that I have them do a discussion assignment around. But the Padlet is here, and they can actually interact with this Padlet right from this embedded widget that's here right from within my course. So you know, this is where I post it for this is at the end of my semester in the wrapping it up module, and then the next semester at the beginning of the semester I pop it up into the top of the module, so that new students can read what the previous students had you know, said about taking the course. Michelle really liked this at the, you know, as a final as an activity of the final week. And Mehrad was asking if I could share the document, and so the link to the Padlet is in the resources that I distributed, and I will make sure to share those again with you all. So let's see, what else do I want to respond to here? Kasoon asked, how can we assure the security and reliability of these third-party free softwares unless we have a registered business account? Well, that's a great question, and you have to be an informed consumer. You have to check to see, you know, what the tool is saying about, you know, accessibility and security. You have to sort of look at the overall business structure of the tool to see, you know, is it just some kid in his mom's basement who's put this tool up, or is it actually, you know, a business with a financial model behind it that provides options for people and for self-sustaining, and then you know, check it, vet it to make sure that you know the tool that you're using is legitimate and is going to be around. I often will friend the people who are the owners or the CEOs of the company in Twitter and tell them that I am an educator interested in exploring their tool for instructional purposes. Sometimes that gets me a free pro account. And then I, you know, I kind of ask them questions like how long they've been around and how long they expect to be around. Is anyone like trying to buy them, so that I can gauge some of the reliability. But I do have to tell you that I have used tools that have disappeared in the midst of my using them, that I've been very sad that have disappeared, and that have, and you know, I've had to very quickly look for and find and set up another tool. So, you know, these tools, there's lots of them out there. And I can think of a podcasting tool that I had been using to provide feedback to students, audio feedback to students. And in the middle of the semester, it went away. So I immediately just started searching, Googling podcasting tools, and found another one that met my needs. And within half an hour, I was back up and running with a different tool. So, you know, you have to be a little bit fearless when you use technology, and I give you permission to be fearless and to experiment and to explore, and to be informed consumers, and to take the security and reliability and accessibility into account when you're evaluating whether or not you're going to use a tool and a free version of the tool. I think that's an excellent question. All right, so the last thing I wanted to chat with you about had to do with some invitations that I have. I want to invite you to earn your participant badge from having participated in, attended my presentation. I want to invite you to become an online teaching fellow in the Friend of SUNY role, and you'll get these 2 cute badges if you do. There's a form that you have to fill out for the Friend of SUNY badge, and there's another form to get the participant badge. And I'd like to invite you also to join the online networking community that I have. You know, and this looks all like a whole bunch of stuff, but honestly, it's just me behind all of this, me behind the badges, and me behind this online community. And then lastly, I wanted to make sure that you knew my my Twitter account, so that if you wanted to ask me a question or continue the conversation in a really easy kind of way, and I'm in Twitter all the time, so so you can just follow me in Twitter and direct message me or tweet something to me, and I would love to connect. And I already have connected with a bunch of you, so I appreciate you all who have reached out and who have made yourselves visible and known to me. I really appreciate that. Love having that connection, extending that connection, and I'm hoping to continue to connect and continue these conversations. Thanks again to Ingrid and Liz and everyone and all of you for the invitation to present to you. I love loved meeting you, and I would love to continue to answer your questions or to talk and to learn from you. Thank you very much.